Antonio Banderas is all for Tom Holland playing Zorro in a reboot, and since Tom's on board too, let's take a look at everything we know about this Zorro reboot and who could end up donning the mask. So let's jump into what we've got in the upcoming movie. It seems like it's only a matter of time before Zorro makes a comeback, and Antonio Banderas, who played the character back in the day, is rooting for Tom Holland to take up the mantle. Banderas first brought Zorro to life in 1998 with the Mask of Zorro, and then returned for The Legend of Zorro in 2006. Fans have often wondered if he would ever reprise the role again, especially after he hinted at a potential crossover with Django Unchained, but that project never really took off. In a recent chat with comicbook.com, Banderas shared his thoughts on the Zorro franchise and mentioned that he'd be up for returning, but he wants it to be a passing of the torch situation, much like Anthony Hopkins did for him in the first film. So, who does Banderas see stepping into those iconic boots? You guessed it, Tom Holland. After working with Holland on Uncharted, Banderas was impressed with his energy and charisma, saying, "Tom Holland, I did Uncharted with him and he's so energetic and fun, and he's got this spark too. Why not?" It's clear he thinks Holland has what it takes to bring a fresh twist to the character. Now, will Holland actually get that call? Who knows? But there's definitely some buzz around the idea of rebooting Zorro. Reports suggest that Disney Plus is working on a new Zorro project, and it's rumored that Wilmer Valderrama, known for that '70s show, could be involved. During an appearance on the Drew Barrymore show back in May, Valderrama hinted that the reboot would be a Zorro for this generation. So if he's the one stepping up, maybe Banderas could still have a cameo in the mix. Imagine him showing up for a scene or two to pass on some wisdom to the new Zorro. It would be epic. As for what this reboot might look like, there's plenty of room for creativity. Zorro is all about swashbuckling adventure, charm, and a bit of mystery. Modern audiences love action-packed stories with a good dose of humor, so if the new Zorro can blend those elements with some classic flair, it could resonate well with both longtime fans and newcomers. Plus, the timing feels right. With superhero movies dominating the box office, Zorro could carve out a niche as a superhero of sorts, fighting for justice while wielding his rapier. And given the current climate of reboots and revivals, it's a great opportunity to explore new themes that resonate with today's audience. Maybe the story could touch on social issues that align with Zorro's original fight against tyranny and corruption, making it relevant and impactful. All in all, with Banderas supporting Holland and Disney Plus potentially reviving the franchise, the future of Zorro looks promising. Whether it's Holland or Valderrama who takes the lead, there's a lot of excitement about what this reboot could bring. Zorro has always been about standing up for the underdog, and in today's world, that message is more important than ever. So let's keep our fingers crossed for some thrilling swordplay and unforgettable storytelling ahead. With all this buzz about a Zorro reboot, it's worth noting that Amazon Studios is also dipping its toes into the franchise. They recently announced a new TV series featuring a talented cast, including Miguel Bernardo, Renata Notny, and Dalia Zuacodl. This series has sparked even more rumors about a potential movie reboot, further fueling the fire for Zorro's revival in mainstream media. Now, considering the possibility of a film reboot alongside the series, it opens up a world of creative potential. Zorro is a character steeped in tradition, but with so many fresh faces entering the scene, there's an opportunity to do something different, something that speaks to modern audiences while honoring the essence of the character. One of the most exciting names being thrown around for the Zorro mantle is none other than Keanu Reeves. Imagine the combination of Zorro's charm and Reeves' action hero status. While Reeves is best known for his roles in action-packed films like The Matrix and John Wick, he could bring a unique interpretation to the masked hero. He has a way of embodying characters who are both strong and vulnerable, which could add depth to Zorro. It would be fascinating to see how he could balance the suave, roguish persona of Zorro with the emotional weight of a character carrying on a legacy. That said, if Zorro reboots happen, then my question is, what could a reboot with Reeves do differently? Well, for starters, it could delve deeper into Zorro's backstory. While previous films and shows have touched on the origins of Zorro, a fresh take could explore the emotional journey of Diego de la Vega, the man behind the mask. This could involve more character-driven storytelling, emphasizing his motivations, struggles, and growth throughout the series. A compelling origin story that resonates with modern audiences might be just what the franchise needs to re-establish itself. That said, Amazon has already made strides with a new Zorro series created by Carlos Portela, featuring talents like Miguel Bernardo, Renata Notny, and Dalia Jucotl. But let's rewind a bit to 2014, when Sony was stirring up excitement with news of a gritty Zorro reboot movie that was set to take a page from the dark and intense playbook of The Dark Knight. While the 1998 film The Mask of Zorro remains a beloved classic and a standout action flick, its 2005 follow-up, The Legend of Zorro, didn't quite hit the mark. The sequel's underwhelming box office performance and mixed reviews likely stemmed from its heavy reliance on CGI rather than the practical stunt work that made the first film so thrilling. Fast forward to today, and the superhero landscape has dramatically shifted, with Zorro's contemporary counterpart, Batman, dominating the box office thanks to the success of Christopher Nolan's trilogy. With Batman set to return to theaters with Batman vs. Superman in 2016, it's clear Sony was eager to capitalize on that superhero magic. They brought playwright Chris Bohl on board to write this gritty reboot, aiming for something that would resonate with audiences who enjoy a darker narrative. According to Deadline, this Zorro reboot was envisioned as less traditional swashbuckler and more of a Dark Knight-style unveiling of the character, complete with a new backstory and an emphasis on gritty realism. The project promised to blend swordplay with various martial arts, creating a lethal cocktail of action that would take Zorro into a new, raw direction. It's important to remember that the last well-received Zorro film also had emotional depth. The Mask of Zorro featured Anthony Hopkins' character witnessing his wife's murder and losing his daughter, all of which set the stage for a tale of vengeance and redemption. Antonio Banderas' Zorro was equally driven by the pain of loss and revenge, which gave the character a compelling edge. Fans of Batman know that Bruce Wayne himself draws inspiration from Zorro. In some comic continuities, Bruce and his parents attend a screening of The Mark of Zorro, and it was that night that his life took a tragic turn. So it's not surprising that a reboot of Zorro would lean into a similar dark, character-driven narrative. However, the Zorro reboot train has had a rocky journey. The last we heard, there were whispers of a modern-day Zorro series heading to the USA Network, and before that, Warner Brothers was trying to get Zorro Reborn off the ground, a project set in a post-apocalyptic world. Definitely an interesting concept, but one that has not seen any recent developments. With so many projects stalling in development hell, it's hard not to be skeptical about whether we'll see this gritty reboot anytime soon. Despite the uncertain future, Zorro remains a brand that studios are likely not willing to let fade into obscurity. With its rich history and cultural significance, it seems almost inevitable that we'll see another iteration of this iconic character. Whether it will be the gritty reboot Sony envisioned, or a fresh take in a different direction is still up for debate. So, what do you think, Zorro fans? Are you excited about the idea of a reboot that takes cues from the Dark Knight trilogy? Would you like to see a return to the swashbuckling action we loved? Or are you ready for something darker and more intense? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And that's that for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.